Whew, hello, hello. Hope all of you are doing good. Hope everyone's having a nice Friday. I did not know. Is there a way to turn the fuck off of this? Oh well. We'll you know what? We'll drown it out with Guilty Gear soundtrack. How about that? But hey, Murgix, hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a nice day. Yes, we are finally playing Peak. It's been such a long time since I've actually played this game. Oh man, when this game was out during COVID, it was like at the beginning of COVID too. Like, it came out at like a pretty damn good time. But the unfortunate aspect of it is that I cannot play on arcade stick because the PS remote play has this weird finicky thing where it needs the PS4 to be connected to it, to the PC. So I'm playing on controller, which I've never done. I've always played on arcade stick, which is the common way to play, but unfortunately I can't do that with this one. So I'm just gonna have to work around it with with the controller here. Go ahead. Let me bring back the old main here. Whew. Yeah. But yeah, if during that time of fighting games and everything, like during COVID, with no locals, this was pretty much like the thing that I dedicated so much hours to. Let's see if I still have it. Ooh. There we go. There's the main cancel. There we go. There's the fastball cancel. There we go. This might take some time to get used to, since again, like I have never really played on controller before. Hey, playing something weird? I would say that this one is actually one of those like Gundam Versus is one of those like there's something there. Like it's something that's actually like pretty like I guess like dedicated group of people play. Like I think there's a lot more to work with this game in terms of competition than there is with let's say, I don't know, like the Ultimate Ninja Storm series for Naruto. Because in Japan, this is like one of the most popular arcade games. There's like dedicated sections to an arcade, and the MBON cabinets like far outnumber any like other fighting game or whatever competitive like multiplayer game that's in the arcade. Like for every 8 MBON cabinets, or for every, let's say, like 2 Street Fighter cabinets or BlazBlue or Guilty Gear or whatever, there's like 16 of these Gundam Versus cabinets. Virtual On, which would have been the earliest Arena Fighter, yeah. It's basically like Virtual On. It's a 2v2 version of Virtual On, but it's just with Gundam. But there's definitely like sauce to this. There's things like Oki in the game. There is like neutral per se, right? And there's also like some pretty interesting techniques, because in this game, how it works is like punishment in this game is when someone doesn't manage their boost gauge, which is the thing all the way in the bottom right corner. So when someone uses it too much, they essentially have to land, and they have like a certain amount of recovery frames. And so that's what you're trying to look for in terms of like punishing somebody. In like a game, in like a regular game or a regular online match. You've heard of that game, but yeah, Virtual On is pretty scuffed. Oh yeah. Virtual On is, I believe, it's primarily one-on-one, right? This one, it's built for 2-on-2. So let me see if I can actually even pull up some of my old replays if they're still available. Yeah, look at that. Last time I played this game online was January 30th, 2022. Crazy. Let me see what's a pretty decent like replay. I guess any of them would work, right? Okay, you know what? Let's try this one. So I guess I can kind of like commentate this. So it's 2v2, and you see those characters have like those costs, right? So essentially you have your life bar, which is all the way on the top left-hand corner, and the life bar is 6,000. And so essentially you and your partner share that life bar. And so if you die, depending on your unit's cost, it takes away from that life bar, and then you revive. If you're, let's say, like you only have 3,000 left, and your 3,000 unit dies, then the game is over because your life bar hits 0. And like, let's say your 3,000 unit dies, but you have like 1,000 of your life left, then they revive, but they only get like a third of their health back, right? But anyway, though, so in this game, essentially we are fighting against two opponents, and it's like a mix of like making sure your opponent or your partner is safe while also taking care of the other two. So right now I'm playing as like a pretty aggressive like front unit. So see right there, I'm trying to like get the opponent off of my partner, but the opponent's partner was zoning me out, right? I couldn't get in. So yeah, but essentially this is what like a typical game of Gundam Versus looks like. Yeah, this just brings me back to like the days of COVID and just non-stop just playing this game, you know? Fortunate. Yeah, at a certain point, like things start to get pretty chaotic towards the end, because everyone has their burst out, which means they can start overextending their offense and stuff, or escape, you know, depending, like with that Atlas Gundam did. And I think I'm dead here. Okay, no, not yet. Yeah. Man. Good memories, good memories. But this game has... It's one of those where if you're a fan of Gundam, like, there is going to be something there for you to play as, so... Parse what's going on as someone who doesn't play the game. Oh, yeah. It's definitely, like, hard to understand. Because, again, right, like, it's also... There's no real, like, good analog for this in terms of fighting games. Because, you know, even if you don't play Street Fighter, right, you can still parse, like, what's going on, because you could kind of analogize Street Fighter with Guilty Gear. With this one, like, it does play like a fighting game, but there really is no good like equivalent for you to kind of base your knowledge from. The best I can really say is, like, it's a fighting game, but also kind of like Overwatch because of the team aspect of it. But yeah. Let's see. You know what, actually, I haven't played this unit at all either. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to see if I can just play a little bit of training, and then maybe there might be some people online. I don't think so. Like, this I'm fairly certain that there's not really anyone playing anymore on this game, unless you go onto the Discords. But yeah, if you wanted to know what the meta was, essentially, Malus, essentially the meta is usually you pair off a 3,000 cost unit, because that's the best. That's like the 3,000 cost characters usually have all the tools available to them that make them fairly stable in any given match, and then you pair them off with either a 2,500 cost or a 2,000 cost, and those are usually the supports of the game. So I would usually play as a support in my online ranked matches and stuff like that. There are some, like, niche cases where it's the other way around, where the 3,000 cost units do end up being, like, the support instead of the front. And that's usually reserved for, like, 2,000, 2,500, or, like, 1,500 cost units that are fairly aggressive. So, like, the unit that I was playing, the red frame, that's usually, like, a front unit that takes the lead, and then the 3,000 cost unit, like, supports in the back, so... For the most part, yeah. Every team comp usually can die. Both people can die once, and they can be revived. The only team comp that doesn't work is if you have 2 3,000 units, which is why no one uses that comp, because if only one person can die from the team. If the other person dies, then the game is over. So that's why it's always like 3,000 cost units paired up with a lower cost unit, or just 2 lower cost units. Anything but 2 3,000 cost units, essentially. But costs more than 3K? Yeah, no, nothing costs more than 3K. The cost, the tier brackets are essentially 3,000, 2,500, 2,000, and 1,500. And each tier that you go down, they get worse and worse things. That doesn't necessarily mean that the characters individually are bad. It's just like mechanically, right? 2,000 cost units have lower health in general. They have low boost. They have a smaller boost pool compared to the 3,000 cost units. And like their tracking and their damage is generally lower. It still kind of varies. There's some special use cases and all that, but yeah, it's in the general sense, that's kind of like the trade-off if you were to try to go down into the lower tiers of like the Gundam costs. But besides the team composition meta, the actual like Gundam characters that people would use. So this is one of the best support units in the game. Dynamis is one of those characters that is very efficient for the amount of cost that they have, and they're pretty self-sufficient. And they're really good at landing punishes because of their charged A attack, which is this thing here. So basically, it's just like fishing, looking. If the opponent is about to land, you then pot shot them with this, and then you get a hard knockdown, which means that you can then, for a few seconds, double team against the other enemy unit while the first guy here is in recovery. And then also they have they basically have like a guard, like an ABBA armor essentially, where this thing here, it protects them from the front. So anyone who's trying to zone you out with their attacks, usually if you're chasing them, they try to zone you out with their own attacks, but it gets absorbed by the shield. And because of that, this unit, strangely enough, despite it being like a primarily back zoning unit, once it has the shield up, it can be kind of degenerate, and you can go ahead and start harassing people with your melee, because you essentially have a free get in your face armor tool that the opponent really doesn't have a good answer to deal with besides hitting you from the back, which is kind of awkward. But okay, let's go see if there's anyone online. If not, then we'll just play the campaign. I could play the entire world. Worldwide. Nope. Yeah, unfortunately, no one's really trying to play this game at what? In an afternoon on a Friday? The other funny thing, too, is that I was thinking of playing there was basically a Chinese clone version of this game called Starward. And I was thinking of maybe trying that out because it basically plays the same thing as this. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, we can play. We can play Brave Commander. Oh yeah, also, I had to turn off all the music in this game because this thing is a DMCA nightmare. Not only is Bandai pretty hardcore when it comes to copyright, but also this game has just way too many licensed music. It's unfortunate that Bandai. Not only is this game stuck on the console, if it was on PC, there might be some new life breathed into it. But besides that, they have not released any other console versions after this point, which is just kind of unfortunate. I feel like there'd be a lot more of a higher player base if they would have just allowed this to not just be stuck in arcade hell. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, baby, that armor. So if I remember correctly, I think we are currently on... So after this one, after Maxi Boost on, I think it was Extreme versus 2, then Overboost, then I think there is another update after that. So we are about like three major updates behind internationally for this game. And they have like added a lot more units into the game, and added a lot more mechanics too. Oh, unfortunate. Just random Japan-centric development stuff. Yeah, it's pretty much. This is primarily like a Japanese arcade game, and Bandai just kind of has it in like a chokehold in the arcade. So, and you know, it's like it's probably like their biggest moneymaker as far as like the arcade genre for them. Like, I don't think there is another Bandai like first-party arcade game that has made as much money as Gundam vs. ever will. Oh, also there's friendly fire. So the rest of the world is like, where is an arcade? Oh yeah, I mean the East, other like Eastern countries have like tried to find ways of trying to get this. So I believe like Indonesia, China, and Singapore, like they have done things like they have bought the actual I don't know what they're called, but the arcade not the like the software for it or whatever kind of like, you know, thing that you insert into the arcade cabinet that plays this game. Like they have bought those, right? But it's like such an expensive cost, because if you are trying to like play this game, you have to buy 4 cabinets, because this is a 4v4 or a 2v2. So like off the rip, like you have to buy 4 cabinets. If you buy only 2, it doesn't work, because this game is not meant to be 1v1. So it's like an annoying thing where like in fighting games, like you can buy like a singular cabinet and you can probably just, you know, like jury rig 2. I mean, you know, like they do this anyway, but you can buy 1 cabinet and then there is like the two players side by side, right? But this game specifically, like you need to get 4 individual cabinets with 4 of those like arcade software things. So it's like annoying in that sense. Cabinet 2 players, yeah. I was thinking in more the Japan thing, because the only time I've seen like the 1-player 2 cabinets is either US arcade machines, or it's like those Neshka cabinets where they have like all the multi like game stuff like Blaze Blue, some or what's it called? Some like shooters, or the shmups, right? Oh no. Ah, no wonder. Oof. I've been in an arcade in Japan, so I don't have a reference. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's my experience of living there that's seeping in, you know, which is not something that's like a typical thing that you base off of. Oh no, man. Damn, they make these enemy NPCs tanky as hell. Oh man. Ugh. I don't know how some people are able to play on controllers with this game, man. It just feels so weird. Especially with maybe they use the claw method like in Tekken. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong, because I'm like mashing like my thumb over like a bunch of buttons to like get some of the moves out. Hey, hello there, Lay American. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a nice day. Oh no. God. Oh no. This is why having 3 enemies on screen is kind of a little weird. How's your Friday going? Hope it's going good. Oh. Oh, oops, daisies. Holy tamboles. Uh-oh, am I dead here? Oh my god, I have 1 health left. That's not good. Aye. Oh well. Just got done with SF6 rank session after a small hiatus. I'm washed. I mean, you know, it just takes time to get back into the groove of things, right? I mean, I'm going to be feeling the same thing, too, when I start playing Street Fighter 6 again, man. It's been way too long. Who are you playing? Oh, no, we can play a different character this time. Let's see, maybe I can bring back some of the more Gunner Navi units. Let's see here. Actually, we can use Battle Navi instead. There we go. As you can see with all these costumes, what Bandai was trying to promote for this arcade game. Let's see. Who should we play next? Oh yeah, we can play this one. We can play Penelope, the classic. This is one of those like great beginner 3000 units that you can go ahead and get into. I know this and the Kai Gundam was the 3000 units that I used to first start getting into the front roll for this game. Oh. Uh-oh. Nice thing about this unit is that they have a special movement option in this game. And it also, like, reorientates yourself. So you never really have to be in those weird, awkward positions where you're facing the opposite way of your opponent, and then you have to awkwardly, like, vernier and, like, attack them like that. So it's a good, this unit's really nice because of the fact that you have that special movement option to just, like, reorientate yourself and then not have to be in, like, these weird recovery frames after you go for an attack. Oh yeah, also, thank you very much for the 115 stream streak, Malus. Always appreciate it. Apologies for not catching it earlier. Looking Gundam. I guess it's kind of unusual to have Gundams with bits. Oh yeah. I mean, like, Gundams these days, like, they've experimented a lot. Like, if you see what is it, G-Cucks? Is what they call it. Like they have definitely had, like, pretty interesting Gundam designs. But also, I suppose, is like under this, like, there is a Gundam in there. There is, like, a Gundam under all of that, I guess, sheep skin. Yeah, there we go. There's the Penelope. Keeps the skirt, I guess. Yep. The Gundam fan, the only one I've watched end-to-end in sequence is 00, and the one I've seen the second most of is Wing. I see. Sick. Yeah, I guess with this game, I guess in Gundam in general, and as you can see with the amount of characters that they have, depending on the series. Also, hello there, Durax. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a nice day. But in at least, like, I guess just in Gundam in general, like, a lot of the fanfare that Bandai has put into is usually the original series, Char's Counterattack, Zeta, Gundam Seed for sure. I'm not sure about Gundam Wing. I don't know if they're, like, super like invested in Gundam Wing for Bandai in Japan, at least. Gundam Unicorn definitely is one of those is one of the Gundam series that like Bandai, like, absolutely just, like, goes ham in promoting and, like, shows favoritism towards too. I don't really think 00. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I guess 00 to a certain extent, because at least in this game, there's a lot of 00 units from 00 season 1 and 2, and then the movie Awakening of the Trailblazers. But yeah, for sure, like, the original series, Zeta, Unicorn, and Char's Counterattack are, like, the series that, like, Bandai absolutely, like, puts a lot of, like, promotion towards too. time lane or whatever the primary time lanes seem to be the favorite child. Oh yeah. Man, they hit a gold mine, I suppose, when they made Unicorn. When they animated Unicorn, because man, there is just like so much Unicorn like merchandising now, you know? Because back in what, around 2009, 2010, like Unicorn was fairly new, and I didn't see like a lot of Unicorn merchandising. And then now it has its very own like life full-size statue in, I think, in Odaiba, or it might have been moved. But yeah, the only other ones that have had that same like fanfare is the the new Gundam, which is the based off of Charged Counterattack, and then the original Gundam, which is based off of the OG series. Uh-oh. Oh my. Also, where did the music go? Uh oh. My armor, no! There we go. Let me go ahead and, let me see what happened. There we go. Not sure what caused it to pause, but so be it. Hey, speaking of Gundam Wing, why don't we fight against them? Man, you know, when I first was trying to play the game, back when this game got released in... Oh yeah, also, I never really realized, but the oh no, the scale of like the wing units, the wing Gundams, are like so small compared to the actual like other Universal Century or even some of the other like alternate timeline Gundams. Anyway, though, when I was first trying to play this game in arcades, when I was living in Japan, I did everything in my power to try to main Heavy Arms Endless Waltz version, because that was one of my favorite Gundams to play at, or favorite Gundams in general. And that thing was just, it was just such an unintuitive unit to play as. It was like the equivalent of trying to play Happy Chaos or Zato in this game in Guilty Gear. Like they just do not. Heavy Arms just does not play like a typical Gundam unit in this game. You know, Gundam Wing has a lot of like really strange units that have like very hyper-specific playstyles. Because you have heavy arms, you have Death Scythe, you also have the Tall Geese 3, and then who else was there? And I guess the Gundam Wing, the Endless Waltz version, is also in that same kind of category. Strangely enough, like that franchise has like the most like very hyper specific way that you're supposed to be playing their units. Like it's not very intuitive. Oh no. Oh. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh no. Get me out of this situation, please. Alright, let's go ahead and fight the Nightingale. Oh man. Remember I saw this, like, I believe it was the Master Grade, like, P Bandai, I believe, for Nightingale, and I was like, man, this is unwieldy. I don't think I could ever finish building this kit. Oh my lord. Ah, that explains it. Yeah, also, fun fact, this was like a boss unit that originally appeared in, well, like 2011, and when the game came out, when like the first ever version of Extreme Versus came. Okay, not this character, but you know, the one voiced by Gact, the singer from a Japanese band, or I guess just him, the singer. But anyway, though, they actually released like a playable version of the boss unit all the way from the vanilla version of this game, which is crazy. Oh no. Ouch. Oh no. There we go. Hey, sick. Alright, cool. Yeah, unfortunately, pretty much, not really a lot of ways that you can really play this game, besides the online, which, is not really much going on there, but, let's see here. So, here is all of, yeah, the Gundam. So, yeah, they have about, what, 11 here? Yeah, 11 playable units from 00, and then they have 5 from Trailblazer, so that's a pretty good amount. And then, yeah, a pretty good, decent amount of Unicorn units. I guess it's less than, which is kind of surprising, less than 00. But Gundam Seed definitely should have a lot more. Yeah, look at that. I mean, both Seed Destiny and Seed have, like, close to almost, I think they both have double-digit amount of units. Yeah, it's crazy. Gundam Seed over in Japan is just absolutely popular over there. Despite the fact that I don't really like Gundam Seed all that much. I'm gonna be real. It's just not a very good Gundam series. Good voice acting, but just not a good story. But yeah, speaking of, like, as I was saying about, like, very hyper specific, like, units from Wing. So MBON is one of them. He is essentially, like, he is only a melee unit in the game, or he's only melee. He has no like projectiles essentially. So he basically has to rely on, like, the only long range tools are his whips, which only covers a certain amount of time, or a certain amount of, like, range, right? So if you're trying to, like, harass people in neutral, right, the only way for you to do it is to get in, which is, like, kind of like the antithesis of like the typical, like, range that most people play at in this game. Like, most people play at, like, around this range, right? But MBON, he has to be, like, around here to really threaten anything. But he got some cool-ass, or some long-ass combos. Stuff like that. I mean, for the most part, you usually try to do combos like that because it allows you to get higher up in the air, which means that you can get a lot more hits in with this at the end. Hey, hello there, Reynaldo. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a nice day. We're just playing a short little stream with Gundam Extreme Versus, you know. This is like if they released another console version of this game, not a console version. If they released like, it doesn't have to be the most up-to-date version of this game. It could be like even the update after this game, which is still like 2 to 3 major updates behind on PC. I think I would like this would start being like the main thing that I would be streaming. Like, no doubt in my mind, because I absolutely adore this game series. Just about when you talk about your Japanese period? Yeah. This is the game. This is the game. This is what I basically played in Japan a lot when I had an allowance, and then like I had time to go to the arcade, you know. There wasn't one near me, so I had to take the train to go to like one of the more like populated, like the more, you know, I guess like what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I guess more popular cities, not like a Shibuya or like an Ikebukuro, but you know, something. I guess like not necessarily like the San Jose or San Francisco of California, but maybe like a Santa Cruz or a Sacramento type of city that I had to travel to have like an arcade that has this you know, available, right? And this game would just have like tons of people playing at the arcade cabinets. Like, you would be lucky if you had the only times that you would be able to play it where there's like empty cabinets is if it's like on an off period, which is, you know, either during the workday or it's during school for at least like the Japanese students. But man, and it was kind of annoying trying to test the game or like trying to train in the game, because some Japanese arcades they sometimes either just straight up turn off the training mode and they only allow like multiplayer versus only. And so if that's the case, then pretty much the only thing you're able to do is, if all of the cabinets are not being are not played by anyone, it's just your cabinet, you can play like the campaign mode to then you know, train against the CPU. But as soon as one person like hits up the cabinet, the basically like the game forces both of you to like fight against each other. So there was this like weird sort of I guess like common courtesy that everyone does, which is they turn off the CPU partner in the game so that the opponent basically just only focuses on you during the match. And it would get even weirder if like usually it's either like coworkers or Japanese students that come by after school. But if they both happen to be like, you know, wanting to play together, then you as the single person usually just kind of had to give up your turn, you know? So no arcades ever had training modes. I mean, I saw them in emulation, but I thought it was used as a bug for devs or something. Oh no. If in Japanese arcades, and it kind of depends on the game, but like Exerd had this, Tekken 7 had this, BlazBlue had this. But essentially there is a training mode in the arcade, but it's timed. So if I remember correctly, for at least like the Exerd arcade cabinet, they gave you like 500 seconds or 600 seconds, so you could play training mode, but it was on a clock, and the timer is like, the speed of them kind of varies. Some of them are kind of scammy, some of them are not, but yeah, there's definitely like training modes in arcades. Some of them are kind of unintuitive though than others, you know. Oh yeah, speaking of other unintuitive units, so this is another one of those like unintuitive mobile suits to play in the game, and I so bad wanted to play him, but unlike MBON, Heavy Arm has no melee. I guess technically this is his only melee attack, but it's like it's more so of like a huge call out move to do this, and it's such a huge risk too. For the most part though, you are just like constantly movement canceling and like harassing the opponent with like your charged missiles. And just you know, I guess just like like that one Nago player we played. You just start moving on people like this. Always had doubts from the old FGC like Daigo at SF2 or Darkstalkers on how they find combos before console release. Oh yeah, I mean, like, those arcades, like, I'm fairly certain that, yeah, you pretty much just had to fight against the CPU if you really wanted to get anything. Or, you know, the older arcade cabinets, they do have, like, a one-player, two-player kind of thing going on. So you could spend, like, 200 yen to like, have, like, a trading dummy, basically, where no one's playing on player 2 and you're playing on player 1, so you essentially go ahead and just, you know, use them as like a training dummy for your combos or whatever. But I want to say that it's like around 2015, 2014 where they added like here's the trading mode with the timer going on. Because some of the older fighting games, like, it's the same issue where, yeah, there is no training mode, so... If I record 6 at PvP, would you play it? I'm getting similar vibes from this game. No, unfortunately, I probably won't. The thing is that with Armored Core... Armored Core is, I think, is like a 1v1 game, right? This game, in particular, is 2v2. Which has like an interesting dynamic to the game, but also the other major thing is that the reason why I play this is also because it's Gundam. Like, I am like kind of interested in playing the Chinese clone version of this game with like anime women, but for the most part, like, the reason why I play this game is because this is also just based off of like one of my favorite like mecha series ever, you know. Yeah, because being able to play all these like all these like units from the series, like see, like, my favorite series, it's around either like the second season of Gundam 00 or Iron Blooded Orphans and 8th MS Team. Where's 8th MS Team? There it is. And so, like, you can play as, like, you know, pretty much these iconic mobile suits from those said series, man, is like damn. This is heaven to me. This scratches the itch of like fan service and gameplay. Cause like the problem with like other anime IP like fighting games is that they scratch the fan service aspect that I want, but they never really scratch the gameplay surface that I want. you know? Because the Bleach fighting game or the Bleach Rebirth of Souls thing, like, I like the fan service that they provide, but I don't really care for the gameplay all that much. I mean, it's interesting enough, but there's just like some aspects to it where it's like still not like to my liking, you know. Sure, if Armored Core is to fully customize your mecha, yeah, I get the Gundam IP having an importance. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I do like mecha in general. Like, I also, you know, like the Front Mission series. I remember playing a lot of Front Mission 4 and playing Front Mission 3 on my PS Vita. And then there's like some offhanded, you know, like JRPGs that have just like mecha themes to them that I really like. But yeah, like if I could only play one game based around mechas, it would be this exact game. Like, Bandai would literally have all my money if they just released like an updated version of this on PC. They would have everything from me. I'm gonna be real. They would have me in a chokehold. Nothing mechas are not my interest, unfortunately, but it is great to see such variety. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like, there's also just like very interesting playstyles from a lot of these like Gundams as well. Like, and there's also like very interesting like competitive history with these Gundams too. Like at the, I mean, even in arcades, right? But when this game first released on PSN in 2020, during COVID, the meta for the game was like I could still remember it like it was yesterday, man. Xenogears on PS1, it was a hit. Oh yeah. Xenogears was really cool. It was really cool. The thing that I was kind of like disappointed in is that the offshoots of the series, so like Xenoblade, right? I was disappointed in that there's not really like a huge emphasis on like the mecha aspect. At least as far as Xenoblade Chronicles 2 goes, right? Like, the mecha is like the world, I suppose. Like, they're living on like a giant mecha, but there really was no like mecha elements as far as like the gameplay, you know, like the gameplay day-to-day kind of aspect to it, right? It was just kind of like waifu collector simulator, pretty much. JRPG combining a sort of combo system in the summon of Final Fantasy under form of mecha. Oh yeah, but like the only amount that I had like investment in terms of like that series is like probably the Xenoblade series. But yeah, the early meta, or I guess just like the launch of this game and what people were doing, man, like this. Like, this Gundam was just like absolutely like a menace, man. This was kind of like, I mean, it's not the same really in terms of like brokenness, but like the feeling is kind of there, which is like Gundam Bale was this game's version of Lance Soul for Strive. Like, absolutely like far slash into another far slash that suffocates people. This one was like, okay, here is this like forward advancing armored move that like the conventional ways of trying to hit people out of it would be like using your beam attacks, but it absorbs them, so it doesn't work. And so you then have to deal with that. Or it's this another forward advancing like fast, you know, like hard to deal with in the moment sort of like approach. And so everyone was being like blown up by this unit. Like, it didn't really matter who you played as the partner. If you had a Gundam Bale and they were like fairly competent, they could literally just like go ahead and start being a gorilla and just start like mauling people. It's kind of crazy. And the other like annoying aspect is that the way that you're supposed to like beat this type of unit is because they do like these long combos, right? You're supposed to just like hit them out of their combo if you have like a partner that's available. But because this guy sends you straight vertically up in the air, it makes it virtually impossible for your partner to like actually be able to be in range to like hit him out of it. And it's such an investment to try to hit your opponent out of it that it's just not worth it. Especially when you have like the enemy unit like also gunning for you, right? So yeah. I don't know what happened, but it looked damn cool. Oh yeah. I mean, you know, this is definitely a game where like there is a lot of like fighting game aspects to it, right? There is like Oki in this game. There is like mix-ups, quote unquote. You know, there is like neutral zoning, you know, characters that are particularly rushed down, and all that, but it's just sort of like the analogs aren't really there. You can't really sort of like do a one-to-one comparison of like, okay, I play Strive, but Strive really can't. There's not really anything in Strive that can really kind of like make things analogous in this game. So you don't really have like a reference for the most part. And it's also kind of like a team shooter too, but it doesn't really play like an Overwatch, right? There's like certain different aspects of it. But you know, for example, let's see here. Who would be like a good like rush down? Oh yeah, you know what? It would have to be. And here's the funny thing too, is that there's certain Gundam series who are essentially like, okay, these are the rushdown characters. Like the G Gundam units, they are all basically like some form of rushdown melee character. Rising Gundam to a certain extent is maybe a little bit less so, but like everyone here, like Master Gundam, unfortunately, you know, the English adaptation of this got the name wrong. This is not the Burning Gundam. This is the God Gundam. This is the God, and it is definitely a God Gundam. G Gundam is one of those, like, the series is too wacky for me to like, but the design of the main character's Gundam is like far and away like one of the most godlike designs ever. But anyway, though, like, yeah, like this is a very hyper aggro kind of unit that is trying to like find an opening to like start melee attacking them. And they're also a ground runner unit, so they cover more ground if they run on the floor than they do, you know, just doing the typical boost in the air, which is kind of like atypical because most Gundam units, like, their main way of like navigating the space is boost dashing in the air and everything. Yeah, see that? Domo. Got the finger. It's also funny that like a lot of the Japanese voice actors in this like voice other characters in different Gundam series. So like the main character Domon here is voiced also by like somebody in Gundam Seed. And then you have, you know, the voice actor of Zato's Japanese voice, who, like, voices, I think, 3 different characters in this game. Yeah, he voices Zex Marquise. He voices, the Gundam Turn A, or the Turn A villain. And then he also voices, the Gundam Seed guy. Where is he? Yeah, there we go, Mulaflaga, so... Wings opening, open dash jump. Oh yeah. There's a lot of like cool details in this game. But yeah, I think my favorite, I guess like a part of the reason why I like playing the 00 Gundams in this game is because I think the Trans Am system is one of the most like coolest looking like power up states for a Gundam. And also like it has like one of my favorite Gundams in the game, or in general. And I wish that they had a master grade version of this, but I suppose it just might be too hard because it is a transformable unit. But Reborn's Gundam is like Reborn's Gundam, and Gundam Throne Zwei is also like I like those units' designs. Oh my lord. Oh. Man, it is much harder to play without an arcade stick on this game. Oh my. Oh. Alright, maybe we have to go to a lower setting. Or a lower difficulty, because I cannot play this unit with a controller here. Hey, hello there, Super Siruga. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a nice day. How's your Friday going? We're just trying to play an old fan favorite of mine. It's unfortunately like one of those games where there's just like no one online anymore. It's like it's a Discord fighter essentially. It's a Discord fighter. But even then, with the Discord fighter, like there are people who just cracked the arcade version of this game, or like an updated arcade version of it. So just Lemon SF. Is this a phone game? No, it's an actual like this is on console. This is a Japanese arcade game. Like, one of the most popular arcade games. Like, I mean, Street Fighter 6 is probably the anomaly, but if you went to a Japanese arcade pre-Street Fighter 6, this thing is, like, the most popular game in Japanese arcades. It would always be filled with somebody, like, so many people playing this game. I mean, maybe you might have seen the a Giuna video that talks about it. Oh god. See, is a PS4 game? Yeah, it's a PS4 game. They unfortunately have just kind of like jailed this game into arcade hell. For Bandai has just never released and like an updated version of this game on console or PC. Oh my. Time to sleep. Have fun. Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you very much for coming by as always, Reynaldo. Hope you have a good rest of your night, man. Classic Bandai. Yep, classic Bandai. Man, and you know, they be releasing all these Naruto games, these Bleach games, and then they just won't release, like, the thing that people actually want. This is what the people want. But they're cowards, and they refuse to release this game from its prison. Be cool on Steam. Oh yeah, yeah. Like I would it definitely would not be a like a smash hit, you know. It still would be like relatively niche. But it would be maybe like I don't know, like if people are like, if there's like an audience for competitive Armored Core, then I don't see a reason how this game won't also like have that same kind of audience, right? Not only that, but like this game is actually like a like people play this competitively. There's like actual, like, you know, like Oki like matchups, neutral, right? Let me see if I can even pull up another replay of mine and seeing if I can bring up something. Oh. So you said it's very popular in Japan, so it's gonna be fine, even if it doesn't do well with the American audience. Oh no, yeah, yeah. Like, I would say that, like, there is such a like huge audience in Japan, but also just in like Southeast Asia in general. Like Singapore, China, and Malaysia, I believe, are like really big into this game. Like, they're so big into it to the point where like there's a Chinese knockoff version of this game called Star Wars, which is just essentially copies this gameplay, but it's just with anime waifus, essentially. So like they're even if like America doesn't really care for it, like the Southeast Asia audience will definitely carry the game. Oh no. What the hell? Where's the music? That's what I just noticed. Oh man, why does it always pause for some reason? Speaking of Naruto, I wish Bandai could release a true Naruto fighting game instead of arena fighters. Yeah, I mean, it would be so great if, like, you know, if they just had, like, an Avatar version of, like, but with Naruto. Like, they instead of the Avatar fighting game, it's just, like, Naruto characters. Or Bleach characters, right? Like, it would be... I would at least think that it would have a little bit more of, like, at least staying power. Maybe not necessarily, like, would be a smash hit on release, like, with, like, typically goes around with, like, the casual arena fighter audience, but I think it would at least have a lot more... It would have the same kind of, you know, like, longevity as maybe, like, the anime fighters that are kind of just, like, stuck to being Discord fighters, right? What the hell am I doing? I just want to kill this guy. Was also what I had in mind? Yeah. Oh, man. It's so weird too in terms of like I was curious and I revisited like an old tier list for this game, and it's like, man, I completely forgot like how strong certain characters were in this game. They give the IP to Arc System Works. I think they can do a good job. Dragon Ball is a good example of that. Oh yeah. And I think it's fine if they like just kind of copied and pasted the Dragon Ball formula. As far as like, I think it's fine to you know, like have that sort of arena fighter sort of essence, where they have like the sort of like every character kind of plays the same to a certain extent kind of way, right? Because you know how in Dragon Ball, like virtually every character kind of played the same in terms of combo routes. Because, like, even if you didn't really know how to play, like, Krillin or Tien, right? Like, you would be able to, like, whip out, like, a basic B&B combo with them. Because it's all the same, right? Which is, like, an M starter, right? You then do a jump cancel into ABC. You then do the auto combo so that you can get the re-jump aspect of it. So you don't get, you know, like, knocked out of the combo. Like the JoJo fighting game, the JoJo fighting game, as long as it's not in that weird 3D, 2D plane. Because the 2D, 3D plane, like, messes me up so bad because the arena, like the fighting game stage, right? Like, it doesn't tell you, like, where the boundaries are all that well. Like, the edges of the stage, like, the little, like, lip at the end, I thought would be like oh, this is where the end of the stage is, but no, it's like just slightly before it. Oh my. Oh no. True. Yep. Man. Is this online or are you fighting bots? I'm fighting bots because there is nobody online. This came out in 2020 on consoles. So pretty much this is like a like hyper like Discord fighter, I guess. Maybe like the Southeast Asia people still play this game, but I guess we're not in the time zone where they would be active right now. So if you try to search for matches, like, you will get nobody. Like, I tried searching for just any kind of lobbies anywhere, and no one's hosting anything. So basically it's just like, you know, no one's online. Yeah, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. But you know, I guess there's not really much you can do about it, right? Especially when it's on like PS4, where, you know, like it's like it's a pretty long amount of ways past like the PS4's lifespan at this point, right? PS5 I think first came out in like 2021 or something, right? So hello, the directions around 8 a.m. in the morning in Southeast Asia. Oh, okay, I see. So, I don't know. Maybe there might be somebody who might be starting up a lobby. But yeah. I don't know. I think at this point, like, most of the Southeast Asia players might have just kind of abandoned this game, or they're playing the cracked arcade version that's more up to date, or they're playing Starward. Because a lot of the content creators for Gundam Versus, who are based in Southeast Asia, I think they're focusing on like Starward content at this point. Okay. Ooh. Play against Iron-Blooded Orphans. Man, it's so unfortunate about the DMCA stuff in this game, man. I would love to just play with the Gundam soundtrack on, but damn, is it like a minefield trying to play this game with its soundtrack, because there's just so much copyrighted music in this game. Understand why they are only releasing the new arcade version. They sound like something from the '80s. Yeah, because, I mean, so here's the thing, right? Here's the funny thing, Saraga, which is that when this game came out, right? So, like, when they released this on console, at the point in which they released this on console, they were already, like, on their second update, right? So it's like, imagine if they released, like, Street Fighter 6, like, the vanilla version of the game on consoles, but in arcades they're already on like season 3 of Street Fighter 6. So yeah, it was one of those like weird things where we were playing like in a very old version of the game at that point. Like, this version of the game came out in 2016, I think 2015 in arcades. And we were able to play it on consoles in 2020. Oh no. Save me, partner. What are you doing just standing there? Jesus. Partner was trolling me there, just standing there doing nothing while I was getting my ass beat. Ooh. Let's go ahead and fight Big Zam. That is what I understand. It's not like arcade games can have better graphics now. I think even a low-profile PC can run this game. Oh, yeah. Like, Chinese programmers have found a way to just, like, run a bootleg version of, like, Gundam Versus on their phones. So, like, yeah, it's definitely, like, possible that you can just run this game on anything. The only problem is that the newer, updated version in the arcade that people were able to, like, pirate and, like, put on PC, the issue is that it's just, like, it has weird restrictions. Like, if you want to play online against other people in that game, then it has to be the exact same version, right? There can't be any kind of other updates. So it can't be like the 1.2 and then there's someone with like a 1.3. You have to all be on like 1.2 or 1.3. And then the other thing is that the cracked version of the PC, of like the PC arcade thing that they were able to get, it's like super unstable. So like from time to time when I was playing it, and with my NorCal friends, when they had the pirated version on their PC, it's like, yeah, this game would sometimes just like either be running at like 20 frames per second, or it would just immediately disconnect and like close the client. So. But yeah, you know, after this, let me go see the tier list again for Maxi Boost On, because I wanna revisit like some of the old characters in the game. Oh no. There we go. Booyah. Let's see there. Hey, we got a trophy. Sick, sick. All right. Well, anyway, let's go bring up the quick ass tier list right now. Let's see here. Sweat monitor mode. There it is. There's the tier list for this game. Yeah, we're at so this is where we're at, and this is the current version of the game, Infinite Boost. So yeah, it's been quite a long while. And this entire like game series has been like, this is like, if you think that Street Fighter V or Street Fighter or Tekken 7 was like a long lifespan, this game has been in existence since 2011. So it's been way more than a decade since this game first released in arcade, and it's now already like, it's already on its like 15th year around, right? But yeah, this version, yeah, we were just playing like the best character in the game, Reborn's Gundam. Absolute absolute monster of a unit. Gundam Bale as well. Pretty much like a good chunk of the reasons why these units, he's in his own tier of his own for different reasons, but a lot of the reasons why, at least with these, is that they have good fastfall cancels, and they have like either some sort of special movement option that allows it to be much more trickier to try to combat in the neutral. Gundam Bale is just kind of different. He's basically just like, imagine if like these were all different variations of like Chun-Li's or like Ed's, like JP's, characters with like really good neutral and like stable sort of like gameplay. And then Gundam Bale is essentially the Ryu of the 3000 tier units, where he can just literally like run at you and like just gorilla you to death. That's crazy, yeah. And the reason why like this Reborn's Gundam is specifically like the S tier unit in the game, and I don't think there's any S tier units in any. Yeah, everyone else is like an A category or a B category. Reborn's Gundam is distinctly like an S tier unit because like his movement options are so like efficient. If you because we were doing like the transformation modes, right? If you're pretty optimal, then like it's not only impossible for your opponent to really like be able to like catch you, but also like you are just out APMing them so much that it's just like virtually impossible to try to out manpower the Reborn's Gundam. And on top of that, he just has really good tools. He has really amazing tools. He has tracking like funnels that like basically has this area of effect that like locks down a portion of the stage. He has a Gerobi, right, which is just like a large ass beam that you can punish people with. He also has the ability to fastfall cancel, as well as the fact that yeah, he's really broken. He's like absolutely like one of the best units. There's a reason why like in this version of the game, pretty much most teams would run like Reborn's Gundam and like any other like good like lower cost unit. Like most teams that I would see in like competitive play would be a version of Reborn's Gundam and GPO3 or Darkhound or Dynamis. Yeah, Dynamis. So usually the teams would be like Reborn's Gundam, these two units, or Gundam Dynamis, and maybe Exia. Maybe Exia is there as well. But yeah, like he's really good. And then the reason why like some of these units are pretty bad is because either they don't have good fastfall cancels, or they're super clunky. Like the main damage from Armored Zeta is that they have a giant ass like beam that basically like stalls them in the air. Only really good for punishes or calling out people. And then Double O Gundam, because he has he can only do things well in like transformation mode, but he has to wait for the transformation mode to be up. So he's kind of like Jamie in that he just sucks at the start of the game, and he can only get into his powered up state for like, I don't know, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and then he sucks again. So like he's just like almost like virtually underpowered like for the most of the match. But yeah, I would always be a support unit, and my favorite units to play would be either the Amatsumina, or it would be like Dynamis and Forbidden Gundam. These were my usual picks for my competitive play in the game. Yeah, I guess we can just like look at like a replay just to kind of give you like a reference sheet as to like how this game was played. I mean, I'm not good, but yeah. So yeah, we can look at Dynamis. See, did I win? Yeah. The low tier Gundams, are they ass? Yeah, so they're pretty bad in their own way. So let's see here. I can bring back. Oh yeah, also this is like I think some of the things in this game like are kind of funny in that there's like shuffle play, so you just get randomly partnered with people. And sometimes like people are playing 3,000 units, they end up like teaming up with another 3,000 unit, which is like the worst combination possible. Because if both of you die at some point, then you just lose. Like only one of you can die, and then the other person just and then no one can die ever again. Whereas with other team comps, like somebody can, like both of you can die at some point, right? Bar mine in any kind of like crazy circumstances. But going back to here, so like the super ass tier units, so like these units down here, it's either like their mains are pretty bad. It's like their main weapons that they use, right? So like Mac Knife, their main weapon is like a Vulcan machine gun. And the reason why that's bad is because in this game, your main is good if it staggers people or causes a hard knockdown in one shot. So that's why you have units like, let's see, is it Gunner Zaku Warrior around here? Yeah, so Zaku Warrior is like decent in the 2000 tier unit because their main is like a hard knockdown. Like if you get hit by it once, then it causes like a hard knockdown that like gets the opponent, you know, off of your partner and all that kind of stuff. Or if you have like a beam weapon, it at least staggers them. So you only need to hit them once. But Mac Knife, because it's a machine gun, you have to hit them multiple times for the machine gun to stagger the opponent. So it's like that's like a pretty bad thing. That's the same thing with the Shinzaku Warrior, where he also has a machine gun as his main, so he also needs like multiple hits to cause stagger on the opponent. And also like their other like toolkits are just like generally underwhelming. So like these units here, they all have like not great toolkits. They either have underwhelming sub-mains or special movement options that don't really threaten the opponent all that much comparatively to the upper tier characters. Like the sub-weapons for Exia, they add a lot to his movement and overall like hard to pin down. And Dynamis as well, his subs do enough to cover for like his weak aspects of like he's just bad in the close to mid range. So his subs and his special movement weapon cover for that, you know. I wouldn't say they're necessarily bad. It's like a combination of like if they have that as well as like other types of weapons that don't add to their game plan, then it's kind of whack. Cause like Darkhound has like the Vulcan machine gun. It's not technically a machine gun. It's like a beam machine gun. But the reason why he's good, he's like really top tier, is because his subs and assists and main really add to the support aspect of this unit. Like the value of Darkhound with his sub weapons greatly makes up for the sort of like ass nature of his main. And you know, the main still does what it does. Like it's not necessarily like that bad, but it's like the mains for these two units, along with their sub-weapons and assists, are so lackluster that it just overall makes them like that much worse. And the other ones are usually clone units that are pretty bad. So these are both clone units. So this is Luminaria Hawk's Impulse Gundam, and this is the Rue's version of Z Gundam. They're basically clone units of higher cost units. So like here's the Zeta Gundam here, and then here is the Impulse Gundam. Where is it? Where is the Impulse Gundam? Ah, there it is. There's the Impulse. So like these are like pretty good units, but if you're using a clone version of them, which is essentially just like they cost less, which is like the benefit because you get to play as these like, you know, higher tier units at a lower cost, but the downgrades that they get in their like lower cost form just like absolutely makes it so it's not worth it. It's like absolutely not worth it playing these clone units. It's like, why would you want to, what is it? It's like, how would I put it? What's like a good Street Fighter 6 comparison? Ah, there we go. It's like, you play Ingrid because you like Fireball Drive Rush, but realistically, there's like better Fireball Drive Rush characters in like Guile and Aki in the game. So like, you know, sure, you get to have like some of the cool aspects, some of the good aspects of like these units here at a lower cost, but like there's other aspects that make them so much worse that makes it, and which ends up making it like not worth playing them in general. But yeah, like and then the 1500 cost unit. So in this game, it's like kind of weird in that, like typically, like 3000 cost unit, you think like, oh, like that's the carry of the team because that has the most points associated with it. So if you die, then like that's half of your team's resources. But oddly enough, is that if you're a beginner, it works the opposite way, where you should start playing 3000 cost units first and then work your way down if you want to explore like the lower cost units. Because if you try to play as a beginner with these 1500 units, you will end up just like feeding the team. Like you are literally a liability if you play as these units, because essentially the trade-off between the costs are that the lower you go, the less amount of health you have, the less amount of boost you have, or like movement options that you have, as well as the range that you have as well. So if you let your teammate play a unit that is basically has like the worst aspects of everything in this game, then the enemy team, if they know that you are your partner who's playing these types of units is the weak link, they're just going to gang up on them and then like literally win the game. There's like nothing you can really do, because you can't get your get your win condition off with the whatever character you're trying to play, because you're constantly trying to save your partner if they're not good enough, right, to fight on their own. So like really these units are reserved for like pretty experienced players that know what they're doing, because like they're working with the least amount of resources, and so therefore they are able to like navigate the neutral better, despite those limitations. So, but yeah, this is what is it? Let's see here. Where was I? So yeah, so I'm here. So I'm playing Dynamis. So this is the unit where like I'm basically like trying to zone out from my opponent and just like try to take pot shots at them from a long distance. And so this is the range where it's like pretty bad. But as you see there, right, like because I'm so bad at that range, but my sub weapons, like the laser beam right there, it like covers a pretty good. It covers for the weakness that Dynamis has in like the close range and the mid range, which makes Dynamis like so much better in the game, because not only does he work well in long range, but even in like a pinch, if he is getting mauled by like units that want to be in the mid range or close range, his sub and assist weapons can like make up for it. So Most fun units to play? Oh yeah, I mean there are literally units that like do suicide bombs, like they suicide themselves as like a gimmick. I can show you after this replay. But yeah, see there, I got hit. The shield saved me, and also let the beam the sniper rifle, the charged shot version of it causes a hard knockdown. So like that also is like a good bonus as to why like this unit is like so good. And the E burst, right? You can basically think of the E burst as like the regular burst that you see in Strive. So like it's Dynamis got a really big buff in this version of the game, because now he doesn't have to worry as much if he starts getting mauled. Wait, let me see if I can bring up one of the units that launch to like, you know, schmurder themselves. Where is the Gundam Igloo? Where is it? There you go. MS Igloo. Here's one. This is one of my this is like if you want to like troll your opponent, then you can play as this unit and like just like purposely try to tilt your partner. But this unit's fun because you can go ahead and if you want to like risk it all, you can go ahead and go into his I don't know, his enhanced state, and then in his enhanced state just like kamikaze yourself, and that then like you die, and so you literally just you basically just like sacrifice your entire like 1500 cost meter and like start doing this. So, you know, if you really hated your partner, then you can do like stuff like this to basically like int the game. But let's see, there's other units that are also kamikaze units. Let's see. And you know what's nice is that they are like fan service too, because in like, the movie that Gundam is from, like that person does kamikaze themselves. This guy also kamikazes themselves in the Double Zeta. So let me see if I remember the inputs for it. But what's cool is that if you can do a combo, yeah, bonsai, and then he like, you know, commits seppuku right there. And so like if I could, I would try to end combos like this, so that for the game win, right? Let's see, is there should be one last kamikaze unit in this game, I believe. Let's see here, who is it? Actually, you know what? I think that might be it. I think those are the only kamikaze units in the game. Which I guess is good. You don't want to have too many of them, because then you'll just have like an army of people just trying to int you. Well, let me see. Let's see if there is actually anyone online. Nope. Let me see. What if we set it to free team? No. How about shuffle team? No. How about 1v1? No, I mean, yeah, there's literally just like nobody online, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, you know, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. You know what? If we create a room and it's like 1v1, I wonder if we'll get anyone going. We create a room and wait a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I doubt there's like anyone like really on at all. But yeah, this was my other like I guess this is the game's version of a puppet character, where you like send them out. They work. They like work independently from you, and so you go ahead and like you try to send them out. And then they come back to you. And then now you're just like in this mode again. What's really nice is that like because the character, like your puppet, works independently from you, that let me see, what was the, okay, there we go. It works independently from you, that like your opponent can't really track it all that well because they can't lock onto this thing. So really, like you can get some like devious like setups where like you can set it up behind them and or like double team it, right? The only problem is that you're stuck in, if you're stuck in this mode, right, it's pretty bad because not only are you a lot slower, but also you just don't really have a lot of like firepower capability. Probably going to be a degenerate player. Oh yeah, I mean, again, like the people who still only play this game are like the Southeast Asia players that, you know, like have the time to dedicate themselves to this game, right? Yeah, I don't think there really anyone on. Unfortunate, but it'd be like that. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, let me see if I just remember. Oh shit! Nope. Darn it! Didn't mean to do that. Let me just see if there is like a couple of melee characters that I can remember with some of the combos here. Curse of playing niche games. Yeah, it's the curse, baby. Unfortunate. I know there was sometimes when I was playing with friends, I would do some funky stuff. So, for example, some neat things that are in this game. So if you play as the Red Zaku, you can basically become like the fastest unit in the game. Like, bar none, like, under certain conditions, the Red Zaku, I mean, of course, because he's the red makes it faster, but the Red Zaku can become, like, the fastest unit in the game. So, if you use the Comet buff, then as long as you don't touch the ground, then you get a, like, crazy good speed buff, right? But, if you go ahead, use the Fighting Burst, which gives you just generally a speed boost as well. But you then add that on top of the double buff from the Meteor buff. Then you become like the fastest unit in the game. So sometimes I would just go ahead and like do some funky settings for the room when I'm playing with friends. So I could do like stuff like that. Or another one that's kind of toxic. So you can kind of like stun lock your opponent depending on like the character. So this unit, the MBON, he has the ability to like combo. He basically just like a primary like melee unit only character. So if you... Oh, messed up the combo there. Alright, let me go do it again. See that? And you can do some like curse stuff like that. That's not never meant to happen because you never have like that much boost gauge, but you know, if you're trying to have fun and like trying to troll, then you can stun lock your opponent in like a 10-second combo like that. Let's see there. What else? What else? Oh, yeah. Yo, Gato? Why am I using Shooting Burst for this guy? He should be Fighting Burst, always. Yo, this dude? The GPO2 is one of, it's a really sick unit, man. Basically, the only thing that I play for this guy, though, is that he just shoots a literal nuke at you. So you just shoot that, right? And it literally like zones out like a huge entire portion of the field. And of course, most of the time it doesn't necessarily like, you know, the main purpose of the nuke is not necessarily to like hit people with per se, but it's just to force them to like move out of that area. So then you could like meet them halfway and essentially like go into melee range and start whomping on them. Oops, forgot the combo there. Also one of the weird ones where he has like a enhanced sword. There we go. And this is where the Oki comes in. You shoot that on Oki, and basically, like, your opponent has to deal with like this incoming projectile as they're waking up from the ground. So, let's see there. But yeah, let me yeah, we can go ahead and just talk a little bit more about like why this character is so broken. I don't know if I like explained it good enough. But yeah, like to like explain a lot, he has like all the weapons that you'd want on a character, and he also has like techniques that other characters just don't have. So like one of the problems that you run into if you're playing like other units is that of course he's not a good example because he doesn't have it, but you know how like you kind of stall in the air as you're shooting behind you, right? So like a lot of situations, like let's say that someone is trying to like approach you from the front and they're like a melee unit, right? Like a God Gundam or an Epion, right? And you're trying to run away. The awkward situation is that if you're trying to like keep them out by attacking yourself, what happens is that your Gundam turns around and like shoots them, and like they stall in the air like this, right? Which makes it like pretty awkward in those situations. One, Reborn's Gundam doesn't have that because he has like this hard knockdown, like back shot attack, right? But on top of that is that if he wants to be able to retreat while also harassing the person who's approaching him, then all he has to do is that. So like if he's in a situation where like, oh, they're trying to get to me, like I'll just start doing that, right? So if you play this character like pretty optimally, then it becomes like pretty hard to like try to approach this character because he's doing like all these like movement cancel options. And like he's switching off to different attacks. And like, you know, he has these GN fangs that follow the opponent and like stun lock them a bit. He also has, again, like I was talking about, the giant Gerobi, right, which is good for punishes, for landing punishes. But then he also has the GN fang version of it. So you can also use that on Oki when your opponent gets knocked down and stuff. So like, situation would be, you know, oopsie daisies. Oh, I don't have the weapon yet. Let me see here. Oh, I killed him. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's try to do that again one more time. Oopsie daisies. But you know, imagine like they get knocked down, right? They have to wake up. They have these beams on top of them, stuff like that. But speaking of Oki, this is also like a good Oki tool. Like you knock the opponent down, and then you just spawn these like literal these projectiles in front of them, right? But they're also just like good get off me tools. So not only does Reborn's Gundam have the ability to like harass the opponent if they're trying to approach him, but just in case, like if he doesn't have the ammo available or he's actually losing, just like spawn these things and like every melee unit will basically just like get bopped by this attack, you know. And then it's not something that that I guess is like super critical, I suppose, you know, compared to the rest of his kit, but he does have a fast fall, which is this thing here. So I was able to basically like so like with most weapons, right, if you were to use them, right, they kind of stall you in the air. Like this, they stalled me in the air. But if I fast fall cancel, then it allows me to essentially no longer stall in the air, and I get to basically use the momentum to land safely on the ground, so that there's like less opportunity for my opponent to punish me. So I'm able to harass them while also not being like stalled in the air awkwardly, and also it makes them harder for them to punish me as I'm landing. So, but yeah, man, brings me back. Unfortunately, there's just no one playing, and you know, there's just been no other release for this game. So pretty much we're just kind of stuck with what we have, which is you know, the online the single player campaign, and that's pretty much it. So, but I think we'll call it there. You know, nice little memory lane going down, right? If this game ever like comes out on Steam, right, and it doesn't have to be like the latest version. It could be like the previous version, right? It doesn't matter. But if they release it on Steam, like, it's over. Like I think I might be like streaming this game like way more than any other fighting game. You know? Comes out on PS5. Okay, yeah, I guess this version of the game is also out on PS5, or it might be coming out on PS5. But yeah, I think if they released it on PC, it'd be a lot more accessible. Also, I don't have to use the dumb PS remote play, because it's pretty like unyieldy how it's used, because I can't use my arcade stick. Like I would play this. You usually play this on arcade stick because this is like a Japanese arcade game. But I can't. I have to use my PS4 controller because of the weird PS remote play what's it called, like limitations, I suppose. So, but yeah, let me go ahead and see who is currently on right now. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we can go ahead. We'll raid just Momochi again. But yeah, thanks again everyone for coming by. I was appreciate. Isn't that Hori compatible with the PS4? It is. It's just that the PS Remote Play doesn't. How would I put it? It requires me to like go to the PS home screen to like have it recognize that the arcade stick is now being used. But if I do that, the PS Remote Play closes. So for me to be able to like have the game recognize it's an arcade stick, I have to go through some weird like third-party like software recognition system, which is like way too much work, you know, just to play, I guess, like a short stream of this game that doesn't really have online because there's no one online, right? Yeah, no problem, Durex. Thank you very much for coming by. Always appreciate it, man. Always appreciate it. But yeah, Monday we're going to be playing Guilty Gear. We're going to be entering TNS finally. And then just grinding more Guilty Gear, I suppose, on Monday. And then, you know, after that, we'll like go back to Street Fighter and everything. So, but yeah, thank you again, everyone, for coming by. Hope you have a good weekend. And yeah, I'll see you all around Monday. Oh yeah, no problem. See you guys.